Welcome back to another episode of the Night Audit. I'm your host, Chaze Barnes. If it's your first time being here, let me do you the honors to. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you decide to click on here and to join us on here. Our little slow growing channel over here. No worries. Shout out to the new subscribers and the future subscribers, the views, the likes, the comments, the ones that got the impressions, all that stuff. People that's thinking about it, like, I need to see more. I need to see more. We got more for you. All right. So again, quick housekeeping. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review. We'll get y'all right into it. Okay, we got some more lighter topics. It's a little mixture, a little blend. If y'all seen yesterday's episode, that was a little heavy. I was up here. I got off. I was like, man, this is too much. But nonetheless, we gotta bring it. We gotta make sure we bring it day in and day out. All right. So we're gonna start with our first clip. We're gonna go to New Jersey. Samsung is moving to Texas. I think they already have a location already in Texas already, but they're moving at the end of 2026. I got a few notes on that as well. So this announcement happened several days ago, but I'm just now getting to it.
Typically some extenuating circumstances when a homeowner would dump a ton of money into their home and then renovate it and then move less than a year later. For Samsung, this very same scenario, leaving New Jersey, going to Texas, sounds like a business decision. Samsung is a tech giant, seemingly a maker of all things. But the company, with a market capitalization of more than $1.5 trillion, has decided it will no longer be making its home in New Jersey, pulling up stakes from its newly renovated headquarters in Inglewood Cliffs and headed to Texas, where it's already been doing business for decades. A Samsung spokesperson did not mention whether New Jersey's economic climate factored into the decision, specifically the state's 11.5% corporate tax rate, the highest in the country. In Texas, it's 0%. A company spokesperson telling Pix 11 Samsung is, quote, undergoing a business transformation designed to better position our organization for long-term growth and future success. The spokesperson went on to say, quote, we recognize such adjustments will have an impact on our people, and we will be providing support to those affected. Samsung remains committed to its investments across the United States as we build a stronger foundation for innovation, operational excellence, and sustainable growth.
What is the economic impact? Over $100 million in payroll. Leaving, that's 1,200 jobs.
The move comes just 9 months after Samsung finished renovating the former Unilever campus. Michelle Cicerca is CEO of the New Jersey Business and Improvement Association.
It's a reflection of decades of anti-business policy. When you could have made an investment like that and still find that your ROI in the near term is better pulling out of the state, that means that we're just so overpriced or an outlier status here in the state of New Jersey.
The new Sherrill administration in Trenton is facing criticism, particularly along party lines, over the Samsung move, even though the corporate exodus out of New Jersey has been happening for years.
New Jersey has lost 32% of our Fortune 500 companies over the last 8 years. We went from 22 to 15. We should be paying very close attention to this.
And we absolutely did reach out to Governor Sherrill's office for a response to Samsung's move and a response to the criticism. We did not receive a response in time for this report.
Okay, all right. Lots to get into with that story or whatnot. So I have a couple of notes. I think most of it covered it in the video. So in short, Samsung's decision reflects a shift towards consolidating leadership within its largest U.S. manufacturing investments in Texas, while reigniting debate over New Jersey's ability to retain major corporate headquarters. It was true. Listen, in a couple of political economic reactions, New Jersey Republican and business leaders criticized the move, calling it a sign of New Jersey's anti-business climate, which was illustrated a little bit in this clip we watched, and citing high taxes, obviously, and regulations and high costs. Listen, you can't tax your way to wealth. Even if 1,000 employees, whatever, and all that 1,200 employees, you can't tax your way. I don't know why people, these Some of these states and administrations don't understand you can't tax your way to something. Okay, you're gonna have to cut costs. If you can make it zero somewhere, not saying you can't make it zero across the board, but you gotta lower it because 15. So that means who knows what the other 15, maybe 5 more of the businesses on the verge of leaving, if not next year, maybe the year after next. Okay. Also, it says Samsung, of course, will provide support to the affected employees. So you got to understand, maybe out of the 1,200 employees, some maybe relocate, but also others may not. And they already got like a location in Texas, so it might be an easy transition for people that live over there as well. Okay, man, couple other notes here. When they opened this building in 2025, September 2025 in Inglewood Cliffs headquarters, it was a $6.4 billion, $64 billion investment. That included cafeteria, fitness center, grocery store, and an arcade. 25,000 square feet. Holy, I don't know. Texas won because it's a lot of businesses are moving to Texas. A lot of businesses move to Texas. Exxon Mobil moved from New Jersey to Texas just 2 years earlier. So that should tell you something. And it's going to make a huge local real estate. It's going to impact the local real estate market in the area massively. Okay. Now I gotta find a way to cut my teeth more into this stuff, but I know it kind of seems like it seems like it was already happening, but it kind of begs me the question of why did they kind of go through opening up the site? We are in June of 2026, so maybe we're talking about 9 months. You move it in 9 months, you say, okay, we're gonna leave. Talking about money to burn, that's insane. That's insane. Oh, they did say a small number remain in New Jersey to support local operations. So I would assume that, which I guess they call it like it's like a drawdown period. So maybe a drawdown period. So that location may not officially close its doors. A lot of times when these things take place, there's usually a 2-year window. Maybe they may like an 18-month drawdown period. So they may, it may be these employees might stay on until the doors officially close, so the lights go out completely. So that is understandable. Whatnot. For people that don't understand that, I've also where I work at, there was relocation that took place from various places around the country, and it took. I think it takes roughly about 18 months or so to like they announce it. Let's say the announcement made. Let's say if the announcement is made this year, let's say this month, it'll be 2028 before like maybe Q1 or Q2 of 2028 when everything officially closed. So whoever for whatever one employee that they hire, sometimes in some cases, most cases it is for every one employee that they hire, probably like they did it where I worked at, for every one employee, they have to let somebody go. So that decision had to be made. These people probably get severance packages and stuff like that. So I think it'd be fine, but that's a wake up call. That is a massive wake up call. What the question I would say this is a failure. I think the question is is this a failure of local tax incentive structures or a major corporation completely untethered from regional stability now? I think two things can be true at the same time, but the local tax incentive, because if they didn't probably, and this is just me ad-libbing here with this or whatnot, with the information that I've gotten, that I'm just reacting off the information. I would say because Samsung does have a headquarters in over there, I think in Korea. So if they didn't have no other operations in the United States, let's say there was only one, then they probably would have moved over. They probably moved the headquarters back overseas. But I would think now, I don't think so. I think they already said they had, I know they already said that they had a foothold in Texas for like decades now. So it wasn't a matter if, it was a matter of when, because I know I have Samsung and when I need to get something repaired, a lot of the repairs takes place in Texas and they get shipped out from there. So it was a matter if, it's not a matter of when. I don't know why that New Jersey pumped up their corporate tax state tax to 11%, and it's the highest in the nation. And they managed to keep businesses there. Now I know you can't get, and I know every business is different, but Samsung is a big name. ExxonMobil, these are not small names. These are massive names. These are massive giants in their industries. Yeah, we got to see, because even though people will still be there after the move, but long term or whatnot, what this would do for the local economy there, the real estate there. That's just something to kind of keep an eye of over here at the night audit. All right. So speaking of relocating and price hikes and people being displaced or whatnot, potentially being displaced, we're gonna head over to San Francisco, where a family is feeling the pinch when it comes to a 90% rent hike. So we're gonna take it over there to San Francisco.
90% rent increase. That's what a San Francisco family says they are facing in the Richmond district.
Their building recently got new ownership, and shortly after, the family was given a notice on their door. NBC Bay Area's Jocelyn Moran joins us now. And Jocelyn, they're being told their rent is going up to $7,000.
Gia, they are paying a little less than $3,700 right now for a 2-bedroom unit, so this would be nearly double. There is a rent control ordinance in San Francisco, but legal experts say there are exceptions.
Hey. This is Henry, and this is the only home he's known. Zachary and Ashley Waldman moved into their 2-bedroom unit in the Richmond district in 2021, knowing that they wanted to start a family.
Obviously fell in love with the view, and the neighborhood is super family friendly for San Francisco. It's just felt like home instantly.
Their 19-month-old Henry has grown up here and goes to daycare nearby, which is subsidized. Ashley says they feel safe and comfortable here, so they were devastated when they received this notice on their door last Friday, letting them know that their rent would be going up to $7,000 in September.
Could cry right now. Been doing a lot of crying. This is our home, so it's been really difficult.
When they first moved in, they say they were paying close to $3,500. Over the last few years, they've seen a couple of increases. They're now paying nearly $3,700.
We just had a rent increase in April for 4.1%.
But the building recently got new ownership toward the end of May, and this notice states that it's exempt from certain city and state laws that provide protections to tenants. When it comes to San Francisco's rent control ordinance, legal experts say it only limits rent increases in buildings that are older than 1979.
New housing that was put in place after that date is not covered by the law. The law also exempts single-family homes and condominiums.
Zillow states the building on Geary Boulevard is a condominium and was built in 1996. Zachary and Ashley were under the impression they were living in an apartment under rent control rather than a condo. There's also the statewide Tenant Protection Act. Experts say it also exempts condos and single-family homes.
But that exemption only applies if the unit is owned by an individual person rather than by some type of corporate entity.
But even then, she says the tenants should have been notified of the exemptions from the very beginning when they first moved in. The San Francisco Standard reports that the building's new owner is East Peak Holdings, LLC. It's registered to Hans Geisler. We tried contacting him today, but didn't get a response back.
Sounds like
Whereas
German.
like the soul and the heart and the spirit
That
of the
guy,
city,
that
like
hard.
the families are gone. So it's not how we grew up here, and it's terrible.
Now, we did reach out to Mayor Lurie's office about this specific case. His office referred us to the city attorney's office. Their office referred us to the rent board. The rent board recommended Zachary and Ashley seek legal counsel.
Seems like a bunch of runaround to me. Hey, you call this person. Hey, you need to hit this person up. Make sure you hit this person up. You might be better served to contact the people over there. Yeah. Unfortunately, the law is the law. It doesn't care about how you feel. And they should have been notified about the exception that the property they're in does not exempt them from any rent increases. And chances are I don't know, because a lot of us are just need a place to stay. We don't, the area looks decent, but a lot of us don't read our lease agreements enough, or if you sign mortgage, you have agreements in that. But when you're signing on like a condo or signing for a lease or whatnot. We don't sign that. We don't really take our time and read that stuff and go over it or whatnot, or have a lawyer to go over it and make sure that, okay, hey, what are our legal parameters we can take if something that take place here. Hell, after they got an increase in April, it's almost like, listen, it's time to go. That's all it is. It's a sign. It's a write on the wall. It's saying it's time to go. It's time to move. They've been there for, what is it, 5 years? It's about long enough. Find something. At that point, I think even after 3 years, I know they probably didn't really think. Now, they probably didn't. It was doing that. It was like around like kind of COVID time, so that was another reason. That's with the rent moratoriums and stuff like that going on, the legal stuff. So once that stuff subsided, it was a matter of when then they was going to come and start to like recruit. And whoever the owners were, just couldn't really probably maintain. They probably had people that just couldn't, one paying their rent or whatever and all that, or whatever the case may be. And they just couldn't really keep with the upkeep or whatnot, or the taxes, or again, the local taxes, because California taxes are crazy out there. And they probably like, oh, you know what? Hell, we can't do that with this. So it's unfortunate for this family and whatnot, but I think they better find something. I think they'll be landing on something. And they just have to, because it's San Francisco and I think it's California. So like, you got to get a little creative. I would just say in situations like that, I just say in cases like that, then you either have to weigh your options, find a house, wait it out, or you got to move out the state. You got to move. You just got to move, pick the family up and move. That's what I'll do. I'm not gonna sit there and listen. You jack my rent up to $7,000. You think I'm gonna sit there and go through legal? And if I go through legal counsel, whatever, and all that, don't tell her how much money I'm gonna be out of. So I'm going to more likely not be out of an ass wad of money, and my ass may be homeless. And I have a family. No. Listen, before I sign on that line, say, hey, do we have a legal case? Now, again, according to the information that was presented to us and presented to me, it don't seem like they got a legal case. Now, I don't know, there may be somebody that may be able to pull one out their ass, whatever and all that, but from what the eye test and what I'm listening to, I don't think so. I just think it's just probably time to move. Like I said, been there for 5 years, okay? Y'all, by that point, listen, the first amount, okay, all right, you say for that amount, okay, you might as well just go find it. If you can pay the $3,600, okay, and they went up by 4%, so that means you have the means to pay the money. You got the means. So go find your house. Y'all don't have a problem paying $3,600 for a house. All right, go listen. Get a drawdown plan. You got to move out. Escape from San Francisco. That is the mission. That is the name of the mission. Escape from San Francisco. Okay. Whew, listen, because they should have known or whatever and all that. Like I said, most of us are just oblivious to stuff like that. Like, we love it here. We like the area. Blah, blah. Tick, stuff keep going up. Tick, keep stuff going up. Before you know it, you priced out. So they're priced out. It's unfortunate. It sucks. You know what I mean? It sucks, but you got to make adjustments. Okay, you got to pivot. It's like over here tonight, Audit, even me, you got to pivot. I can't be like, little side note, I had looked at apartments around. I'm like, oh, okay, that's about what I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to I don't have to get you find your number. Okay. You find the number. You find what the least amount you willing to pay and what's the most you willing to pay. Okay. Now, we're long gone from the days you're paying $900 in rent. Okay. Now, if y'all can pay $7,000 with and all that, and I'm not saying you don't want to pay $7,000 because they don't want to date. It's an emotional time, it's an emotional moment and whatnot. But you can afford to stay somewhere decent. You don't have to be paying almost $10,000 to live. No, that's ridiculous. That is bad. That's asinine. I was about to say the other thing. That's asinine. So no, you know what I'm saying? Listen, my guy, the husband, hey, step up. You know what I'm saying? It's either escape from San Francisco. That should be the mission. Everybody move one sound, one band, one sound, getting our shit, and we getting the hell up out of here. It's for the better. It's for the better. Okay. But anyway, we're going to pivot. Okay. We're going to pivot. We talked about the U.S. postal workers, the one that died yesterday, but apparently there's some postal workers out there that's throwing people's mail. They're throwing the mail. I can't make it up. I'm saying this I seen the story. I was like, what? Wait a minute. And so I'm reacting to this in real time. And so we're all seeing this at the same time. So buckle up, Buttercup. Here's the next one. Right here.
A Houston area man says that he was shocked when you look at his Ring camera video here and you see the postal worker just tossing packages onto the driveway in the rain. This was yesterday. He says a USPS carrier tossed multiple packages. And Leslie Delaspore now joining us with more on this story. Leslie.
Yeah, Anthony, I think you mentioned it right before we went to break there. And whenever we order packages, no one wants their packages to come damaged or multiple pieces, right? We want them quick, but we want them to come in one piece. So I'm going to describe to you a little bit about what was in that video right before you watch it here, okay? So first, the homeowner told me that the USPS carrier pulled up and parked right where I'm standing in the street. And then what you're about to see in the video is a USPS carrier tossing those packages into the yard, but not into the grass, onto the driveway. And it was multiple packages. And obviously the homeowner, as you can imagine, is frustrated. So the Ring camera video shows a USPS driver tossing multiple packages for Chris Duncan's wife into the driveway. He says his wife heard the packages hit the concrete, but was inside caring for their 3-week-old son and couldn't get outside right away. By the time the packages were picked up, they had been sitting in the rain for about 20 minutes and they were wet. Duncan says the clothes can be replaced and washed, of course, but he's more concerned about what the video shows and how some customers' packages are handled. Afterward, he filed a complaint with USPS and says the response he received left him with even more questions. Chris says he asked what would happen if the contents had been ruined and was told that without insurance, USPS would not be responsible for reimbursing the customer. He says he isn't trying to target or get the delivery driver in trouble necessarily. He just wants to acknowledge that people make mistakes and hopes that sharing this video raises awareness about the policy and sparks a conversation about whether more should be done to protect USPS customers.
So it was just some postpartum clothes for my wife. Just clothes, not anything super valuable, luckily this time. But we have a covered entry to our house. They could have kept it out of the rain, and I just expect them to take the packages where they go. Yeah, it's tough. It's an emotional time right now. It kind of sucked. I added to the list, so they sat out there. It took us 15 minutes while she was feeding our kid to find it. So they sat out there for 15, 20, 25 minutes before we even knew it happened.
All right, Leslie, let's talk about the policy here for the U.S. Postal Service. Is there a policy against that, or did they tell you the same thing the guy told you there? What's that all about?
Yes, they pretty much kind of gave us the same answer, but they sent us a lengthy statement. And in that statement, they took accountability and they said that these actions are against their policy and that the local post office right around the corner from where Chris lives, it's the Eastwood Post Office. They have the video and they are working to make sure this does not happen again. But I want you to take a look at your screen because we have part of that statement. I'm going to read that verbatim for you. Sure, we are taking all appropriate actions to resolve the issue and prevent a reoccurrence. Regarding uninsured packages, the Postal Service cannot reimburse claims for lost or mishandled mail unless insurance was purchased or included with the postage as exempted by federal law. So again, Anthony, as I mentioned, same thing that they told that homeowner there. Back to you.
All right, Leslie, thank you so much. Hey, quickly here tonight, folks at home, how would you react if this is what you caught there on surveillance video? Read a couple of these comments from you guys. That's a shame. The postal driver did that. How would they feel if that happened to them? What else we got here? Poor postal worker, probably having a bad day. We got some more comments. It's just rude. That's horrible. Chopper Silver says, boy, that postal worker was caught in 4K. Indeed, caught in 4K. Another person says, Grace says this is Amazon propaganda. You guys are funny tonight. IKEA is closing stores. Macy's closing stores in America. Houston really be that hot to get out the mail truck? Sometimes it might be that hot if we don't want to get out the mail truck. But thank you guys so much again for responding. One or two more comments. Fire him on a text message. Lazy, just lazy. Typical postal workers. That person needs to lose their job, right? And the homeowner, though, was saying they're not intending to have this person lose their job, but maybe just draw some attention to it. Maybe take better care of customers in the long run, okay?
Okay, listen, postal workers out there, I know y'all know a lot of fire. The last mile delivery, quality control. I don't know. So the question is to the chat: when a postal worker is caught on a camera casually launching packages out of the truck, is that a lack of individual discipline, or is the systemic pressure of volume driving carriers to completely abandon operational pride? Y'all probably, man, fuck that. He shouldn't be doing that. Y'all probably say lack of discipline, right? Lack of discipline. Who hasn't had that? Who hasn't gotten their packages beat up and destroyed? Raise your hand. I have. Okay. More times than I usually, like, I order Bath and Body Works, and if something is torn up inside, I will just call the merchant. I'll just call them. Because they're right, unless you purchase some kind of insurance plan or there's nothing, if the package comes damaged. And a lot of times carriers will, like, whatever you buy, they will encourage you to get the insurance. Get the insurance. Now, not excusing this driver, he should have been doing that. Now, I can kind of understand the first couple of packages, but maybe he could have just scanned and dropped and that. Who knows? They could be on a, even if, listen, he didn't look like he was in that of a rush. You're right there. Okay. What stops you from just placing the package out there, scan, and go? Unless they don't want you got the truck. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you on some kind of time, let's say some kind of tack time they have, and you on it, you don't have but so much time to interact with. Now, I don't know. Maybe you on some kind of PIP. He might be on the PIP. This probably won't help the PIP. The rules for them that probably help, but maybe on the PIP right now. Maybe that's what it is. He probably on the PIP. And if you're on a PIP, it's supposed to be a corrective action. You're supposed to correct your behavior. You don't throw the packages out. Okay. But also, we have a lot of sensitive documents, medication, high value assets. How do you mitigate your risk when the public infrastructure proves it doesn't care about your cargo? That's a loaded question. I don't know. Hey, if you could pick your carrier, all carriers have had their issues, whatnot. But I know with post office, with the last mile stuff, I know there can be an issue, whatnot. I'll just say postal workers out there, if you can. You know, most of you all are pretty good at what you do. I'm not trying to tell you what you do your job. Just take more care of it. Because you got to think, you are a customer too. Somebody has to deliver your mail as well too. So how would you like if somebody delivered your mail? Out the same post office that you work at. Keep that in mind. All right, shifting gears here. Okay, man, ladies and gents. This next one, the video's a little bit longer, but we're going to get through it. It's like a 5-minute video, but I haven't watched it. It's my first time watching it, but a trucker stops a kidnapping. You don't believe me? How about now? We're going to turn to that story right now.
News 12 exclusive as the 911 calls in an alleged kidnapping in Aiken County are released. Good evening. I'm Zaina Halliburton.
And I'm Will Rio. Callers describe the moment they say a woman ran out of the nearby woods handcuffed. Take a listen.
Aiken County 911. Hey, we got a girl over here running for her life. You need to sit down, please. Hey, come here. Come on. You all right?
Deputies arrested Jonathan Willard after they say he tried to kidnap a woman and impersonated a police officer Friday morning. The victim says he came up behind her, said he was with the police, handcuffed her, and put her in the back of a green metallic Cadillac. She says he took her phone, social security card, and more, claiming to take her to the police station. Deputies say instead he pulled into a driveway and got out to look through the trunk. That's when the victim was able to escape and flag down help from a passing truck driver.
And tonight, your senior investigative reporter Liz Owens is live from our newsroom after speaking to one of those witnesses. Liz.
Divine delayed timing. Those are the words Anthony Moore said that led him to being at the right place at the right time.
Aiken County 911. Hey, we got a girl over here running for her life.
So I believe God held me up with those preceding things to be at that appointed place at that time with that dash cam.
Anthony Moore spends a lot of time on the road. He's on the road now, sharing the story behind the video.
I had to been around close to break of daylight, 7 o'clock, somewhere close to that area.
He was driving along Williston Road when suddenly a young woman ran out near Boggy Gut Road.
She would run on one side of the road, try to run over there, run to the other side of the road, try to run over there. She said, help me, he's trying to kidnap me.
Investigators later identified the driver as 39-year-old Jonathan Willard of New
Have
Ellington.
you no shame,
So
sir?
when she got to my side of my door, he pulled up the side and said, I'm law enforcement. He just held it up, showed me the sideways, and he said, I'm with law enforcement, and she just jumped out of my car. She said, no, I didn't. You trying to kidnap me.
Another driver stopped to help, calling 911 as he walked up.
That man trying to run over when I came up right now. I'm on the phone with the cops now. Yeah, your handcuffs on her. You can't be legit because hell no, he's in a damn the white Cadillac, right?
Anthony says the Cadillac took off, leaving the young woman with them on the roadside.
Here, you want to come sit on this little hill right here? You need to sit down. I'm afraid you're going to pass out. I wish I had a way to get these damn things off of you.
Did she remember what he was wearing?
Oh, I got him. I got the handcuffs off.
And I said, do you have a phone? And can we call somebody other than 911? And he's sending the cops and the rescue squad. She said, he has my phone and my diploma. She said, yes, I just graduated yesterday. And she was frantic. She wasn't talking like I'm talking to you now.
The young woman told dispatch she wanted to stay at her dad's house after graduating on Thursday. She was walking home to her mom's the next morning when a greenish-white Cadillac.
When I seen his mugshot, when I seen her, I said, something is off. Something in my spirit tells me something is off. Man.
DeVille stopped her near the corner of Banks Mill Road and Club Drive.
She said that car came out of some kind of apartments on the road where she was walking. And he ran up to her and said, I'm with the cops and I got to take you in. Handcuffed and threw in the back seat. I said, how did
It's not every day, and I'm telling truck drivers probably see God knows what. But most people will just be like, okay, I don't know. There's still some hope for humanity out there. Because like when you drive and somebody say, hey, there's an accident reported ahead, cops are reported ahead. So we would still do notify other people, motorists or whatnot, say, hey, something's going on or whatnot. But this is crazy. What the hell wrong with you? What's his name? Williard?
I said, where was this? She said, way on North Aiken side. I said, and he brought you way out here? She said, yeah, and he pulled in that road. And she said, when he left his door open, and when he was fumbling around in the trunk, and that's when I jumped out of the car and ran out in the highway, and that's when I saw it.
When Anthony isn't behind the wheel, he's behind the pulpit.
Delayed divine timing. Because God has an appointed place for us to be at an appointed time. When you are expecting.
I'm sorry. I know his wife. I don't want to ruin the story. I hope they don't have the same parts as you. I'm just hoping. Okay. All right. Just an observation. I'm sorry.
Things to happen. Consider the things that God may be doing in your life or holding you up for. Standing in line at the grocery store and you're in a hurry. Why are so many people in that lane today? Could be because God is holding you up for something. Holding you up to save your life, or maybe you're going to be in place to save somebody else's life.
Investigators found and arrested Jonathan Willard the following day. He's in jail now, charged with impersonating a law enforcement officer and kidnapping.
Just a wild situation, and to watch that video and hear that witnesses breakdown of everything that happened. It's a scary situation. I can only imagine what's going through her mind after all of this.
It's just incredible. And to have Anthony Moore reach out and tell us what happened and share his side of the story, the timing it takes for him to be where he was when all this happened is just incredible. He says God put him in the right place at the right time, and he likely could have saved her life that day too.
Absolutely. And we are thinking of her right now because that's a traumatic situation. Yeah. Remember, Aiken County deputies are asking you to call them if you had any similar incidents or interactions with Willard.
Shout out to Pastor. We got to get the name. Let's make sure we get the name. We got to make sure we get the name. It's
divine timing. Because God has an appointed place for us to be.
I want to go back to that.
Things to happen. Consider the things that God may be.
Hold on.
When Anthony isn't behind the wheel, He's behind.
All right, yeah. Shout out to Anthony, man. Shout out to Pastor Anthony. If I'm anywhere in Aiken, South Carolina, might stop by. You know what I'm saying? Stop by the church and get in a good word with you. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. But yeah, man, that's wild. Jonathan, trying to kidnapping. We did a story just yesterday about a graduate received the moments after they received a diploma, somebody came in and took their life. And you out here, now you got folks over here snatching up people and putting handcuffs over and impersonating that you're a police officer. Excuse my language. What the fuck's wrong with you? You sick freak. All right. Okay. But what is going on? What is happening? Girl just graduated. This is a couple days ago, but just graduated. Got a diploma. What is wrong with you? You can't find women around your age. Honestly. You can't find women that's around your other age. I won't be surprised if you got an OnlyFans account. You need to check his phone. I don't know. He might be a fan of David. Keep an eye on that, man. Keep an eye on him. Okay. Right. So my question to the chat is, so the core question is, are commercial transport drivers becoming the true first line of tactical defense on our public roads? I'm gonna say yes. They see a lot of things. They come across a lot of things. So they're on the roads 24 hours a day. Okay. You'll see a lot more truckers on the road. So they'll see a lot of things at rest stops and things like that. They see a lot of lizards and crocodiles and tigers, bears. Oh my. So yeah, Miss Anthony Pastor Anthony probably has seen a lot in his time. So yes, and a question for the chat as well. A truck driver spots an active kidnapping attempt and immediately execute a rescue mission or rescue operation. Woo. It said, when you out on the asphalt, what's your personal protocol for a citizen intervention versus calling the authorities and holding perimeter? Most people, listen, most of us just drive by. We see someone on the side of the road. We see a car broke down. We assuming that you call, like you calling your insurance company, you've already called somebody. Me, these days, I can't listen. I don't stop because I don't know what you got going on. You may have a legit emergency. So we're going to let the 511 people, 911 people deal with you, okay? Maybe you got a trusted friend or something like that. But listen, we'll let the appropriate people stop by. You know what I'm saying? I got to go. But I will send a quick prayer to you that you get the help you need, because people be on some damn, be on some sick shit, man. You don't know what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? They probably accidentally flooded their engine and think they break their car down to try to seduce somebody. No. I'm calling the police. But there are people that do step in that, and then they also had somebody else, other citizens that step in as well. If more than one person steps in, okay, I got you. Now, I don't know. I mean, I might pull the car over to the side and call 911 or something like that, but stay in my car or something like that. I keep my UWAP on me. You know what I'm saying? But human trafficking is real out here too. So I think situation, as I said, these truckers see a lot of things. So this just also points to having a heightened sense of awareness of human trafficking that's happening every single day. So shout out to Anthony for saving this young girl's life. You may have perhaps saved her life, and she probably be giving her life over to God. And that Jonathan Willier, shame. Hell's wrong with you? All right, we're moving on. We got to move on to something else. We got a nasty issue going on down in Florida. We're gonna take you down to Florida, a Steak and Shake
restaurant customers often never see, but tonight we have the pictures that will likely
more rats.
Cooking equipment coated with grease and filth. 3 South Florida restaurants were recently ordered shut down. Local 10 investigator Jeff Weinsteer has tonight's Dirty Dining.
That bright orange notice has been on the front door for over a week now. This restaurant still closed inside, being removed. Kitchen equipment customers rarely get to see.
Look at this, Frank.
Thick grease coating the fryers, dark residue caked onto cooking surfaces, buildup layered throughout this equipment, and this doesn't happen in a day or a week.
37 violations, roaches. The equipment is a mess.
Yeah, we changing that everything.
How come it was like that, though?
I don't know.
She doesn't know.
we don't know. Listen, 37 violations. All right, we get to all right.
Below Ecuador on Northwest 26th Street in Doral, just down the road from the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office headquarters. 37 violations found here last week, and it wasn't just the filthy equipment. Live and dead roaches crawling on utensils, inside an oven, under food prep tables, in the dishwashing area, on dollies used to store boxes of to-go containers, under kitchen equipment.
When you close, does somebody clean up?
No, nosotros somos.
She admits, no, quote, we are a small place and there is no explanation for the conditions here.
No good.
No, not good. Yeah.
Terrible.
Milindo not alone. We move up to Sunrise, this steak and shake located at 12541 West Sunrise Boulevard. That's near the Sawgrass Mills Mall. The inspector recently here, based on a complaint, ordered this location shut. Among the violations, rodent droppings found in a left corner of a storage area next to the office. We were told the manager was calling corporate, and we waited.
Is there someone who's coming out to talk to us?
And waited.
Is she going to come out or no?
I guess not.
No.
And waited. The manager eventually appears, but with nothing to say about being ordered shut or the rodent issue.
Ma'am, nobody to talk? No. Well, you're going to sue me. Okay.
Our final stop takes us inside the Nob Hill Place Shopping Center in Sunrise. Love and Oven, located at 10033 Sunset Strip. The first thing we notice, an employee eating right on the cook line where your food is being prepared, and that's a violation. Among the 6 violations, roaches under a sink, in a container under a reach-in cooler, and there was mold in the ice machine.
Hi, how are you? Is there someone I can talk to, please? Manager? Roach issue?
I'm not.
Okay. I left a card. Is it normal for the kitchen staff to eat in the kitchen?
Yeah, sometimes.
It is. Okay.
The owner, Fred Himani, reached out to Local 10 after we left our card. Himani says Love and Oven has been in business since 1973, has never been ordered shut. He says the restaurant is professionally treated for pests twice a month. And as for the employees eating at the cook line, he says that will be addressed. Milindo, Ecuador remains shut. The others allowed to reopen following an ordered cleanup and then a reinspection. Jeff Weinseer, Local 10 News.
Y'all ain't right. Yeah, I need to get these folks out of here. I need to get these folks back to their country. And it's not all of them. Listen, there's some people, there's some legit restaurant owners that come from other places. But you got to leave whatever once was in your country. Leave it where it was. Okay. Because it's an indictment to all of them. It kind of reminds me of the issue that was going on with back in 2024, back in Ohio, where the Haitians, the issue that was going on, and the Haitian, they was saying they was eating the rats, eating the dogs and stuff like that. I guess that you might as well just cook rats. What the hell's going on? Listen, how heavily are you auditing the parameters of the places you eat and you relocate, or environments you dine in? Me, I'm gonna tell you what would be the dead giveaway. And I went to this Subway. It was a Subway I used to live back in my Clarkston days. People who are from here, from the Atlanta area, would know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of people like, oh, pin-ups and all that stuff like that. Never been in there, never have, never will be. The Subway over there had 100% rating when I was over there. Nice, clean. Most of the Subways are pretty generic anyway. They got the little street designs and stuff like that. 75, y'all. 75. Now, I got my face cleaned up. I stopped. I said, you know what? I'm going to stop by and give me some lunch, whatever, and all that. That's a dead giveaway. I look at what did the Board of Health score? What did they give you? 75? Nah, yeah. 5 points off. What was a B? That means some days you not as clean as you need to be. So maybe I might came on the right day. I go every blue moon, so I might came on the right day. But I need to see 100. I need to see A. I need to see A's across the board. Maybe a high B. You know what I'm saying? So that means you got improvement. But I can't see you being a 75 or low. Listen, no. I go every blue moon, whatever not, but I check that scorecard. That scorecard, that's a dead giveaway. That's the giveaway right there. See, nah, I'm straight. Nah, they over there eating off the cook line. There's rodent drop-ins. There's dead roaches, live roaches on the utensils and stuff like that. He was like, yo, dress, like how y'all in business? Who gave y'all a license to operate restaurants? Y'all listen. This is why. Listen, we need to vet the people. We need to vet the people that are in this country. Because they owners, they're restaurant and they're serving food to the public. They're putting the public at risk. Those locations in this video that I'm looking at, okay, they are putting the communities at the community that they serve. They'll put them at risk. That's how you get Ebola breakouts and E. coli and hantavirus or whatnot, bird flu, whatnot. That's how you get that. It's a public health crisis right in front of you. It's right there. Right there. Y'all, they're going through a public crisis right there. And she was the other lady in the suit. She was like, I'm gonna sue. Sue who? Who? Lady, you don't even have no food ain't even good enough to be. Listen, y'all don't even make enough money. Y'all don't even serve good food enough to generate a profit to sue somebody. Sue? It's always the dusties. It's always the dusty ones, the dusty black people. Not all, because all of us, listen, I know I love black people, but this parts of the culture is trash. Okay. It's trash. Okay. We're not a monolith. We like to eat at upscale, better establishments. Okay. It could be a Waffle House. Okay. And again, if the score is in the high, again, for me, I would say, listen, high B's to an A, or I like to see 100. That's my expectation, 100. But 75, I'm like, no, that's going to affect how much you don't get a tip. Nope. Not at all. Because you're just rolling the dice. Listen, if you eating at these establishments, you are essentially putting your life in your own hands. The first one had 37 health code violations. How are you still in business? How? Listen, I'll either that change your eating habits, okay? Because you're literally rolling the dice. Literally. This will be the day if you was picking any time to go vegan or to eat Presbyterian, whatever, that will be the time. This is the time. Start now for those. Listen, start now. Start now. All right. Get off these people. Get this people off. Get this mess off my damn screen. All right. We got one more story. Okay. This is a little bit more sad. Okay. Maybe there's some inspiration in there. Maybe this can help us close the show out because this
story, because it's developing out of Torresdale this morning, where crews are looking for a missing swimmer in the Delaware River.
Yeah, just off the shore, Torresdale, yeah. Alan, are the family members still there?
They're just a couple friends still here, Mike and Alex, but just a heartbreaking story. His last words were told were, "I can't swim anymore, and I love you." Again, just heartbreaking, says a friend of the missing swimmer, as the search continues to find his body here on the Delaware River. Now, this all happened about 12:30 this morning when a group of friends went out drinking in 3 boats, all tied together near an island out here. 2 guys jumped in the water, and one never came up. He's identified by his friends as Barber Gill, or Carlo, a beloved barber from from the Dominican Republic who owns a shop on Rising Sun Ave. The Coast Guard and the Police Marine Unit have been searching for him for hours, but no sign of him. Let's hear from one of his friends who came out to the scene to give his support.
But what I heard from the other guy, that they was swimming far out. They was a little tipsy. They was getting some drinks in the boat. He swam out of the boat with my other friend. And the last...
Now, I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. While y'all drinking, and then you think it was a good idea to take a swim. I'm reacting to this story in real time. This is a real question. That's the question you ask Reyes. I had to ask like Reyes. A couple guys had a drink. Y'all thought it was a good idea to swim. Two of y'all swim, and one of them they come up. Like, why would y'all think it was a good idea to go swimming and go? Oh, hey, let's go. No. Now we got to bring out. Now we got to race again because you got to find the person. You got to find this person, whatever, and all that. This would have saved a lot of resources, a lot of time. If nobody would, if you were drinking, was on a boat, whatever, and all that, maybe would not just perhaps not took a swim. Now, I'm not saying you can't drink on a boat. Maybe not good to operate a boat while you are inebriated. But somebody got to be allowed to tell the story. Like, I know two people, listen, we're going to get back to the story. I'll give you mine.
I swear he told my friend, hey, I can't no more. I love you. That breaks my heart because the last word he said, I couldn't swim anymore. And I love you.
We just talked to another friend of the barber, Carlo Gill, the barber, and he said that this man would give free haircuts, that he would do anything for anyone. Again, just a couple friends are still here waiting for any word about this man. A lot of tears, as you can imagine, a lot of hugs. You can see there's one boat out there right now that we can see from the Coast Guard. Philadelphia Police Department Marine Unit. They've been up and down the river. We haven't heard anything yet, but we are told this is a recovery mission, not a rescue mission. Mike and Alex.
Horrible.
Oh, man. Number one, prayers up. I can't swim no more. I can't do this no more. And let me go. Let's see if we can go back a little bit.
Up there right now that we can see one. Again, just a couple.
And I love you. Friend, he was swimming far out. They was a little tipsy. They was getting. But what I heard from the other guy.
No sign of him. Let's hear from one of his friends who came out to the scene to give his support.
But what I heard from the other guy, that they was swimming far out. They was a little tipsy. They was getting some drinks in the boat. He swam out of the boat with my other friend. And the last word he told my friend, hey, I can't no more. I love you. That breaks my heart because the last word he said, I couldn't swim anymore. And I love you.
The reason why I rewind it back, because it is heartbreaking. But it's the last thing that people remember you for. That moment. There's a poem called The Dash, but that moment, that's the last thing that people are going to know. And it also addresses mental health. This is so that he was close to the edge. It makes, I'm rereading, I'm like right now, I have some of Jason Wilson's affirmations. So from his book, The Man, the Moment Demands. And I just finished reading his book called Battle Cry. And I mean, because as men, so much pressure. And plus we need places to release it. But like one of the things I think like I read, like I typed it out. I typed it out. And I printed it out and I cut an excerpt out of it and put it in my mirror. And I say the affirmation, like I have a prayer or a verse from the Bible, but I also have I say it like for an hour, like not an hour, a minute. And one of them one of the last parts were, it said, I will not be mastered by my emotions, but instead I will rule over them. And I think the first one, it says, I've been through physical battles, but I'm still a fighter at heart. I may have lost the physical battles, but I'm still a fighter at heart. You got to keep fighting. And it's like easy, and because some of us men, we lose the battle because we stop. It's not that we stop living. We stop trying to live. I think I'm saying that correctly. We're not tired of living. We just not living for ourselves. And I think the last part of what is that you got to know that you can confidently, you don't have to fight your battles alone. For us men, if you have someone, have a trusted friend, a trusted guy that you can, because oftentimes enough, you can talk to your woman or whatever and all that, but there's only so much that can go with that. But talk to other guys or whatnot of what's going on in your life that you feel trusted, you feel confident in, and you can know that you can keep. Because we gotta, again, like, we have to let it out. We have to release those things. Also, take it to God, take it to Jesus, because his yoke is lighter to bear. His yoke is lighter to bear. So this is very sad and tragic, and it's horrifying. And at least in the last words, those words are chilling and shocking. And that's gonna live with those individuals for the rest of their lives. So I don't think I want to play a sound. So again, this concludes this episode of Night Audit with your host, Chaze Barnes. Before you go, make sure you hit a review, comment, subscribe, put turn notifications on. And when you watch, this will be uploaded by tomorrow morning. Again, prayers to this individual. I know just the last couple of episodes, the last part has been a little heavy. Yeah, we'll try to, as the week go on, we'll try to get a little bit lighter or whatnot. But till then, catch you all on the next one. Be well, be good, love on your loved ones, and always, again, audit life before life audits you. See you on the next one.